It's been a feature of the sporting landscape in 2018. The sun goes down, the lights go out, and World Series Rugby explodes into action here in Perth, Western Australia. The pre-match, as always, full of excitement, and this clash will be too. The local heroes, the Western Force, against a talented group of individuals currently plying their trade in Hong Kong, the Dragons. Good evening, hello, and welcome to NIB Stadium. It's a talented commentary team we have for this one too, Game 6, including former Wallaby and Super Rugby star Scotty Favour and the international voice of rugby, Gordon Bray.
Mark, it's certainly very exciting to be back with World Series Rugby. I must say I'm a true believer of Western Australian rugby for the sake of Australian rugby, and now World Series Rugby taking us global. Speaking to Bryn Phillips, the Dragon scrum half, his twin brother Ewan will be watching live on Twitter in a little village in northern Wales. Amazing.
Magnificent.
And Scotty, what do we know of these Dragons?
Well, the Dragons team is filled with internationals, so going to the international game, what World Series Rugby is all about, we've got players from New Zealand, from Cardiff and from Australia, and they're coming together for their first time, representing Hong Kong, and they're out here in front of the Sea of Blue.
And there is the Western Force deep inside their huddle. They're ready to go for this one. We'll get in there in just a moment. But let's firstly go back to only a few moments ago when the Dragons were out on the park warming up. Here's Adrian Barrage.
Yep, joined by the coach of the mighty Hong Kong Dragons. It's Craig Hammond here. Craig, what can we expect from the Dragons?
We've got a lot of guys that are having a first run out for Hong Kong today, so bit of a learning curve for a couple of them, but exciting time. So hopefully we'll go out there, put a show on, and see how we go.
What do you think of World Series Rugby? You've had a look at the rules. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's great, mate. Look at the atmosphere here, and the environment's outstanding, mate. So a good opportunity for these guys to prove a point and see how we go out there. So
anyone we should watch out for?
I think there's a couple of big boys up front that are got to prove themselves, and Captain Josh Dowsing's a very good ball carrier, so hopefully get us a bit of gain line, and then a couple of boys out wide should be hopefully exciting when they get the ball in hand.
Good on you, all the best. Great to have you in Perth.
Beautiful. Cheers, mate.
Yes, Mark, certainly some Kiwi and South African mongrel in that Dragons forward pack. It'll be a good test.
It will. Motivation for the Western Force comes in many ways, including the 50th game for club stewards Marcel Bracchi and Bernard Stander as well. Here's their coach, Tim Sampson, in pre-match.
Okay, and you've got two great team men in Bull and Mars. We all must go out, all right, put in a polished performance so they enjoy the night. They deserve it. Okay, it's a squad effort. It's 35 of us. All right, two great clubmen reached a milestone. All right, we all look up to these guys. So if we lead tonight, they'll follow. All the best to both teams.
And we'll see Marcel and Bernard lead the team out shortly. There is the Hong Kong Dragons. Scotty?
Mate, they look ready to go. There's a couple of individuals, as the coach just talked about just then, that are ready. But I think the game up front, there's three front rowers there that are really spectacular. So I think the Force are got to be looking out for those guys.
Of course, these pictures are going around the world on Twitter, as you know. Also free to air on Channel 7 in Perth and in Fox Sports right across Australia. And here they come now, Bernard Stander and Marcel Bracchi. They joined the club at the same time from South Africa back in 2014, and now they celebrate this milestone together, and that means a lot to them.
Oh, it must do. For everything that's happened with the Western Force, these guys didn't even know if they're going to get to 50 caps. Now that it's created through World Series Rugby, good on them for going out there and keeping with the Western Force, and they must be excited and ready for a big game.
Well, we know Marcel, he scored more tries than anyone in World Series Rugby in 2018. He has 3. He might end up with another 3. You never know. I think they're pumped for a power try as well, the Force.
Well, you look at the big bull too. He's had 2 last week, so I think he's chasing him.
Okay, so before we head up into the commentary box, the Western Force Indigenous Warrior Dance now, led by Barry Maguire, respected Noongar community member. Great anticipation, great excitement here as always at NIB Stadium for World Series Rugby. The crowd coming in number, but coming a little late, just after 6:30 local time, of course. The stands will fill. That's the captain to the right, Ian Pryor. Marcel breaking his 50th game. Now, Ian will be mic'd up as we now join the Indigenous Warrior Dance. So the two teams now will break, as mentioned. Ian Pryor mic'd up live. We use audio of the captain live throughout the game. Anything can happen. It's elite sport. It's ferocious out there. And we'll join in with Ian along the way. He sent his team straight into position, and we can now go up into the commentary box to Gordon Bray and Scotty Faber once again.
Thank you very much, Mark Doran. And we're just about set to go now in this match between the Western Force and the Hong Kong Dragons. And our man in charge is Graham Cooper, local referee, 29-year-old from Perth. A former number 9 scrum half with the Perth Gold, and Marcel Braki gets the first touch for the Western Force in his 50th match, and what a splendid occasion for he and also Peter Grant, Scott Faber.
How you going, Gordon?
Great to see you, mate, yeah.
It is excellent to be out here with the Sea of Blue coming back in force and ready for another count against these Hong Kong Dragons.
Well, an early knock on there by the visitors. It was a nasty delivery there to the scrum half, Brent Phillips. So we're going to see the first scrum of the game, and this will be a real test. I know I've got a bit of an eye on some of these big boys. Grant Kemper, tight head prop for the Hong Kong Dragons, the number 3, and also Tau Kolomatangi, who's very squat, loose head prop.
Yes, Tau Kolomatangi has come from the All Blacks under-20s campaign, and he's made his way over to Hong Kong, and I think this is going to be a really good matchup against the force pairing of Cameron Orr and Chris Heiberg.
So the force scrum holding very well. Peter Grant going very direct, and brilliant bust there by the inside centre, Henry Taifu. And Taifu making about 10 or 15 metres, so that's the early call there from the force. They're going straight up the middle. And Peter Grant leading the fray, playing at number 10 tonight after being at fullback. Quick hands now. Ball quickly away there to Harrison Orr, and out wide now to the loose head prop, Cameron Orr, his brother. So the force with some good possession early on. Ian Pryor goes in. Heiberg, who scored that wonderful try against Samoa. Quick hands, but a good, fast defensive line from the Tigers. Here's Peter Grant again direct, taking play now inside the 22. Leon Power, they're finding some gaps. Pass went backwards, says the referee. Heiberg. So plenty of enthusiasm and preciseness. And Taifu, he beat 2. And some good work there by Deteri, the number 10. Strong work from Jeremy Thrush. That's the goal line ahead. The force have a head of steam here. Opportunity for McGregor. He's close.
Oh,
and the youngster in his first run on start, Jack McGregor, gets the first try.
Look at that action. 6-7 phases. Couple people up the middle, and then Jack McGregor finishes it off with a really great reach out straight over the line. Good work from the young kid.
Yeah, former New South Wales schools captain, a product of Riverview College. Let's go down to Adrian.
How was that, buddy? How was that? Fantastic, eh? Your first try for the force.
Yeah, very exciting, but we got good front foot ball off the forwards there. They did an amazing job to the middle, and yeah, it opened up.
It's easy this game, isn't it?
Not that easy, but pretty lucky. Thank you.
Have your time. Second game, boys.
Well, he's played a lot of his junior rugby as a number 10 and with the Australian schoolboys and the under-20s, but a live wire performer. He's going to add some real injection from fullback tonight, as he showed there.
Yeah, that's right. And he's one of 4 debutants out there. Cameron Orr, Harrison Orr, and Leon Power. And each one of those players had a real effect in that try. And it was great. And then we had Jack finish it off.
50th cap tonight for Peter Grant. His wife Leah and his daughter and all her schoolmates from Mosman Public are in the crowd tonight. So that's a nice start for the Western Force.
And look at this. long pass. Ian saw he was open. And good work to Jack. Nice inside run there. Great little reach out. Well done, Forrest, first try after 4 minutes.
Tim Sampson has a very big opinion of Jack McGregor, who came across with the Melbourne Rebels as part of their squad in World Series Rugby and stayed. He's ground again. Leon Power was a decoy. Some powerful running up the centre so far from the Western Forces. They spread it wide now, and here's McGregor again. Well, you can see his lightning pace is causing problems out wide.
Do you know what I like? I just saw Cameron and Harrison just off each other. Nice little pop passes. I'm going to see that as a focus tonight. I see those two boys running around from Trinity over in New South Wales.
McGregor has quickly become a fan favourite. He has so much flair, good. To watch these boys at training, he's sort of a standout.
Sure
he's just playing with this amazing
just come to the mark.
confidence.
Just don't go over it, please.
Yeah, we want that go.
Graham Cooper, the referee, is quickly developing a reputation for playing the game the way he wants it played, and I like that. He tells them early, and they listen. I think that's the theme, isn't it?
Tevi, plenty of chat there.
Absolutely. He's only 29. He only retired a few years ago. He was scrum half with the Perth goal. By his own admission, he was the referee's worst enemy, Mark. He's a reformed man now, of course, with the whistle.
And as good as anyone can, he looks good in fluorescent yellow.
Now with World Series Rugby, we've got 1 minute scrums as well, so hopefully we see Graham police that area. We see some quick action out there. And there he goes. Good work.
Played on quickly for Phillips. That's Big Lodge. The giant lock. Again, just a loose pass there. So some early nerves, I think, from the Hong Kong Dragons. A couple of handling errors just through bad execution. And it's the Force back in possession. They'll look to try and punish here. There's Lacey bursting through. He's cut beautifully. A brilliant tackle from behind, though. It was De Terry who brought him down. But Lacey making a siding break upfield. Teifu and Grant. And he's wrapped up by big Grant Kemp. Tessman goes in to Power. Power short of the halfway line. Ian Pryor. Back now to Heiberg, and here's McGregor again. They're running freely. Marcel Braki couldn't get away from Herstich. It's a very frenetic pace from the Force. They're getting quick ball from the breakdown, and they're causing all sorts of problems.
Red offside.
That's Steinard.
Midfield.
2-7 midfield.
2 and 7 red, offside.
Good little inside ball there to Lacey. He had Ian Pryor on the inside. It would have been good if he was able to look just to his left-hand side. It might have seen Ian there and
You just can't go over
could
the mark.
have continued on that try. So we've got a penalty right in front. Western Force have got a penalty right in front.
Right now? Yeah.
Peter Grant's going to opt for the touchline, and the Force looking for another 5-pointer here. Attacking line out. Well, it's been a breathless start as far as the Hong Kong Dragons are concerned. The pace of the game has really caused problems for them.
You mentioned the All boys, both starting, Cameron and Harrison. 6 changes to the Western Force team, as opposed to that played after Samoa last time in, and some movement too of different players in different spots, and it's worked. Moving Jack McGregor to full-back, Scotty.
Yeah, it's been great. He's had a real injection already 10 minutes into this game. But the real player that I like out there is Henry Teifu. He's already taken it forward and leading these guys up for Western Force.
Yes, there's been some really good distribution and straight running from Peter Grant as well. There's Pryor.
Advantage.
Pass went forward. And the ball eventually cleared there by the Hong Kong Dragons. Some relief, some respite for them. But they're sucking in the big ones at the moment. And that's Hickson Smith, the big right winger. He's 107 kilograms, 6'4".
It's the starting 15 of this team from Hong Kong, the Dragons.
And we
Dowsing, the captain.
Yes, Dowsing, the captain. The coach talked about him, really good carrier. Comes from the Chiefs development system, so he's got a really good upbringing. And a couple of Aussie boys there, Sam Forrest and Tyler Spitz. So we're looking forward to seeing them in action today.
Interesting group that is here, wearing the red of the Dragons. They've got experience from all over the place, and they don't really know themselves a lot, Gordon, exactly how they're going to play tonight.
Yeah, well, a lot of there's McGregor again, offloading beautifully there to Lacey.
Forward.
But it must have just slightly drifted forward. That was Clay Ewan, in fact, on the right wing.
Scrum red ball.
Certainly a flattish pass, but the assistant referee right on the spot.
I like the intent from Jack there. Definitely getting his arms through contact and trying to get away a ball. It's really good conditions out here tonight. So
it's just can't go across the mark.
So we'll bring ourselves.
Yeah.
It's good. Grant really good Cooper in there straight away. Heath Testament responding. They all get the message. There's Ian Pryor, the number 9 there for the Western Force. He too has a live mic on, so we'll pick up what he's got to say. Man, a few words in some senses for a captain, but again, when he speaks, that team listens.
Early push there from the Force. So until the referee says calls for the contact and the engagement, you can't push. So that's a free kick.
You could hear Ian Pryor, discipline was his call. That's what the captain was telling his team.
I think the Cameron Orr's just really excited to get into that big front row of the Hong Kong Dragons.
Yeah.
Indeed. Big Grant Kemp. Look at the size of the lad. Man, he's straight from the Southern Kings program over in South Africa. So he looks to be quite a handy bloke.
Terry with a raking kick downfield here. That's Clay Ewan, who can also play at fullback, and here's McGregor again. Loves a bit of space. Accurate pass to Braki. The counter-attack's on here from Lacey again. Just couldn't find a teammate with the offload.
2 knock-ons.
So the Hong Kong Dragons are hanging in there at the moment. They're absorbing quite a bit of punishment as far as the Western Force attack is concerned.
Saw there for a moment. Of course, you can get involved with social media at World Series Rugby at WSR, be it on Twitter, on Facebook, or on Instagram. Use that hashtag at WSR, and you can win yourself 10 grand as well as part of the cash kick. We have, of course, a home kicker here, or a local kicker, a cash kicker. We'll say good day to Samantha a little bit later on, and you can be the home viewer that attaches yourself to Samantha. If she puts it over the crossbar at half-time, she wins 10 grand, and so could you. You just have to get involved, use that hashtag at WSR. We'd love to hear from you.
Nice scrum there from the Western Force. They put a bit of pressure on, and there's strong work here by the inside centre, Ben Axton-Burrett. He's a good ball carrier. And Sam Purvis out wide. But well wrapped up there by the Western Force defence. We're on the 10-metre line. And that's the 22-metre line just ahead here for the Tigers. That's Sawyer. James Sawyer. Brought down 35 metres out. Mitch Andrews is the hooker. Again, getting the action is Purvis. 10-metre line in the Western Force territory. Sawyer again, wrestled to ground there by Heiberg. To Terry. And that's Spitz, who's driven back in the tackle. Great defence there by the Force. Heath Testament up quickly. This is Big Lodge, the lock, one of the tallest men on the field at 2 metres. And Dowsing driven backwards. Josh Dowsing, who's the captain. And there's our man, the number 1, Kolomatangi.
Stay.
Very low centre of gravity to Terry. Just a little bit of accuracy lacking from the Hong Kong Tigers, but importantly, they're getting some continuity here.
Yeah, there's a couple of good hits by their type 5 moving forward. But the Western Force put on a lot of pressure in defence, and we've seen some really good hits from Tessman and particularly Cam Orr. I think it was that Cam Orr hit was almost on that Lima scale. Mark?
Oh, Scotty, yes. We'll be introducing the Lima scale shortly to Gordon Bray, who I know he's seen it. I know he was watching. We're talking about people who are watching this game internationally. I think Gordon was in London when the Force played last time, paying for a wedding. He's just got over that, but anyway, we won't.
Not quite.
In fact, we might be able to go to it. Now, let's have a look at Brian Lima. We all know Brian Lima. You've seen this tackle before, but never like this, Gordon.
About the tackle from Brian Lima. Talavilli breaking out. Oh, Brian Lima. That is what you call a blindside shot. Oh. Oh, that's a car accident. God, he's woken up after a long sleep with a smile. Oh, just copped it big time here.
We can laugh and smile, we perhaps shouldn't, but Derek Hoggard was okay. It took, I wrote it down, 1:43 for him to get back up. He had that much wind taken out of him. Now, I know you know how it works, Gordon, but for those joining us for the first time, that is a 10 out of 10. You'll get no bigger hit than that.
Get any better.
That's a 10 out of 10, so we rate the hits in World Series Rugby on the Lima scale.
Right.
And hello to Brian, if he's listening, 5-time World Cup rugby player for Samoa, international legend, great bloke. Not sure that he knew we were doing that, but he hasn't complained yet.
Well, he was the head coach here as well, wasn't he? And yeah, he was aptly named the chiropractor as Ian Pryor breaks away here now with McGregor outside. Pryor still going. That's a brilliant snipe there by the captain, the scrum half. Needed a bit of support. And
yes,
some obstruction there, I think, was the ruling.
I thought he got him for that number 7 for being on the ball. I thought he was in a really good position there, but yeah, for obstruction. But going back to the Lima scale, I think we got 7.5 last week, so he's hoping we can get a bit of fire, and I'm really excited. George Peacey on the bench. I know that George, after his 4 minutes of fury.
Just the interesting one there, Josh Dowsing was, as you say, in good position, but he did bridge over the ball, beyond the ball, and the referees are very strong in that. You've got to go straight to the ball, not a foot beyond it.
Yeah. Good decision from the ref there.
Teifu. He's certainly made an impact early on. Pryor getting the ball on a dinner plate at the moment. Nicely taken up by Harrison Orr.
Now, the ball hit Graham Cooper there accidentally, so what's the ruling?
Well, if it interferes with the team's possession, you'll have a scrum.
Okay, he's worn it well, it must be said.
He's got a smile on his face. I don't know if a Force players do that.
Normally the halfback picks out one of the opposition players there and milks a penalty, but you can't get a penalty if it hits the ref.
George Gregan used to love doing that, didn't he? Pick it out the
Your old
lazy
teammate
runner.
at the Brumbies.
Yes.
Keep the Twitter and Instagram and Facebook action coming. We love to interact with the viewers, of course, being on Twitter. That is live right around the world. Amazing, a great thing to be able to do here on World Series Rugby. At WSR, use that hashtag at WSR.
Well, we're nearly through the first quarter of the game, and I think the Hong Kong Dragons will be quite pleased that they've only conceded 7 points, but Braki hitting it at pace, and they're out in front of the goalpost now. So more pressure here for the Dragons, but they've managed to really scamper well in defence. And Bryn Phillips goes back and rifles a nice pass out. Axton Barrett with a clearing kick. Doesn't get the touch. Was he on the line? I think he was.
Flags up. Flags up. So, Gordon, that was foot on the line.
Yes.
That's out.
Yes, yeah, most definitely. It's all about whether the ball crosses the plane of touch.
Yep.
If it doesn't cross the plane of touch, and then you take it out, it's going to be a throw to the opposition, as it is there.
Okay, Lacey stiff there, just couldn't quite keep it in.
Well, no one jumped there for the Dragons. Towed ahead by Kemp.
Play on.
Referee says we'll keep going here, and the Dragons are back in possession rather fortuitously as Sawyer goes to ground. Just short of the halfway line in Dragons territory. There's Herstich, who played a couple of seasons in Ireland, in Munster, but the Force come away with it here. Look at the lovely hands to Braki. Good clean up by the Force players. Pryor now finding Harrison. Orr. And Orr tackle 12 into their territory. Nice work from Ferris, playing for the super combination against the Wallabies in that trial match at Leichhardt Oval a couple of weeks ago. Great thrill for him, along with Andrew Deegan.
Good turn there.
I think that might have been the captain in brilliant position.
Another good lead-up play from the Western Force. Kept it in tight, a couple of plays, and then out wide, but just didn't have the support. And I think the big ball stander took the ball one off. Big hit from Kolamatangi. It was something good to see.
Okay, now, Gordon, you mentioned Tevin Ferris. We'll get to him shortly and hear from him talking about that fact that he had that opportunity last week, it was, wasn't it?
Yes, it definitely was, as McGregor sends a nice ball downfield, and the ball finally put into touch.
Okay, now we can go. Let's have a listen to Tevin Ferris.
Getting exposed to that sort of talent, you know, and just matching up against, you know, Australia's best was, or even the world's best was a real eye-opener for me. Just to see where, you know, I'm at personally with my game, and you know, I was really thankful for the opportunity that was given to me. So
the 22-year-old in that pre-Bledisloe Cup trial against the Wallabies, he loved it. He really did. Born in New Zealand, but a Mandurah product, a local product, and who knows where he'll end up.
Yeah, no, fantastic experience for he and Andrew Deegan as McGregor's out wide here. And again, plenty of numbers there in blue to secure the ball. As Jeremy Thrush takes it up and presents beautifully. Quick hands to Grant and Orr. And here's Taifu again. Oh, he's having a picnic out there. Ian Pryor, Peter Grant's with him. More support, goal line ahead. The Force looking for their second try. They're screaming for it. Heiberg, the try-scoring prop.
No, out there.
7 metres to go. Dragons holding on. That's power. They're all having a crack here at the moment. Pryor now has a good line. Braki's come into a second receiver. The forwards say we can do it ourselves. The backs are keen to go. Clay Ewan is screaming for it out on the right wing. Can they get it wide? I think they can. Ewan's out here. And good defence there from Sam Purvis. Ball just came a little slowly, well read by the defence.
Out now, 10, out, he lost it.
Look at this. Yes, Graham Cooper, good decision. Release the ball. Here comes Harrison Orr.
Yep, Orr. That's the goal line still ahead. Stander. Back to Pryor. Now Baraki. And McGregor looking for his second. They can't stop it. Jack McGregor's on fire.
And for his double, well done. Finished off. I thought they were going to lose the ball over in the corner, but they consolidated, a couple of good hit-ups, and once again went wide. And there's Jack McGregor ready, popped up, and got it over the try line.
We'll get a look at this again, and then we'll join Ian Pryor in a moment as he talks to his boys. They really had to earn it. They went the length of the field and back again for this.
There it is, and he gets it down. They almost held him up. That winger on the sideline, no, there it is. Good work, Jack McGregor. Good try for the Force.
He's almost become their go-to man, hasn't he, in the first 20 minutes of this one. So 12-zip, Western Force against the Hong Kong Dragons. Peter Grant to kick once again. And let's join Ian Pryor now.
Take the easier. We've got them under the pump. We stuck together. Yeah. All right, cut five. Unacceptable. That last one we all went out, all right, okay?
We went away from the plan there for a while. We got back into our hard work and fucking going multi-phase.
Okay, so that was Chris Heiberg, who had something to say first, then assistant coach Van with lots to say as well, and now back to that conversion.
It, boys. The less we sit there and commentate and talk to each other and tell each other what to do, just get on with the fucking job, okay?
Peter Grant. Oh, it's hit the crossbar and gone over.
Wow. The sensei. He was almost willing that over.
2 converted tries.
Yeah, it was interesting in that little huddle just then that the boys were really talking about the commentary of each other and toning that down a little bit and just getting out there with their action. So even though they're 14 points up, they're still really passionate about continuing on.
It's the heat of the battle, Scotty. You get in there, it's a colourful game. There can be some colourful language. That's the risk you take when we join it, but it's for a reason. We're really getting a feel for this. We really are. 14-0 the score says that after 22 minutes it's easy, but it is not. Westy's enjoying himself if no one else is.
Well, I think everyone is at the moment. We've seen some very exciting rugby from the Force. The Dragons haven't hit their straps yet. They need some continuity. They need to be able to hold on to the ball when they get it. And there's a nice jump from Lodge.
Yeah, they've been very willing with the ball, which is good. So it's going to set them up for a good performance when it sticks. So hopefully it does stick for them now.
There's Hurstich. Well brought to ground by Orr and to Terry. Trying to get through, but he stopped in his tracks on the halfway line. It's Dowsing, Josh Dowsing from New Plymouth Boys High School. He was the head boy there. A couple of other famous old boys, All Blacks, Reuben Thorne and Greg Somerville from New Plymouth Boys High. So Purvis goes into scrum half. Nice interaction there with Bryn Phillips.
Great angle this to see the tactics. As it's now Hong Kong's turn to try to stretch the Force. Can't do it.
We're on the 10-metre line in Western Force territory. And they want to go on quickly here if they can get the ball.
Yeah, good work from Stander. He got the ball, but he had to stay on his feet. And wasn't able to deliver that penalty to the Hong Kong Dragons there.
One guy who's causing a few problems in the midfield is Ben Axton Burrett, the nuggety inside centre for the Dragons. He's made a couple of little inroads through the defence.
Yeah, another Welsh product, and yeah, he's having a real good time out there. He's aiming in there for Peter Grant's line, and just that little opportunity maybe on the inside where Tevin Ferris might have to shore it up. So the Force need to work on that area.
Mitch Andrews throws in, and Lodge goes soaring. Back now to Phillips. Strong run from Hurstich, and that last pass had gone away. They were just about there. Casey Stone coming in from fullback. Looks pretty elusive if he can get some space. But now, ahead of steam here for the Hong Kong Dragons. 10 metres out from the goal line. A little bit of patience here. Kolomatangi. The battleship away to Sawyer, who was taken around the neck there. That's Lodge, the big lock. We're about 8 metres out from the goal line. And the Hong Kong Dragons threatening to register their first 5-pointer here, but the Force are marking up. Slowly they go ahead. 5 metres to go.
Great angle here. We can see the forwards moving around the corner. They're trying to take it up the middle against the Force. Force need to react a bit more in defence and maybe get guys in the line.
That's Sawyer, number 6, supported by Dowsing.
So close now.
And there's Hurstich. Yeah, they're using a bit of heavy artillery. There's a nice gap out wide for Hickson Smith, Charlie Hickson Smith on the right wing. He's yelling for the ball. They've got a bit of space. But the forwards thinking they can do it themselves. Kolomatangi. It's the Kiwis and the South Africans in there, trying to bludgeon their way through as Lodge is held up. The man from Cardiff University. So close here for the Hong Kong Dragons. A metre to go.
Will they rumble it over? Or will they give it to the base?
And there it is for Hurstich. Josh Hurstich gets the first 5-pointer. Well deserved for the Dragons. This man captained the famous Gary Owen club in Munster, the first non-Irish captain in 125 years of the side in Limerick, and he's got the first try for the Hong Kong Dragons.
This is excellent patience from the Hong Kong Dragons. You heard the backs, they were screaming for the ball, but they knew they could take it on themselves, and they found that gap right in between Peter Grant there and the edge of the ruck, and it wasn't able to be filled, and there you go, Dowsing over.
Definitely a bit of Kiwi influence there in the mentality and the strategy.
Now we might be able to go in and hear Ian Pryor there just alongside the upright. positive this time, much more positive, is that they were very quick. He was very quick to get them together and have something to say as the conversion.
He plays for the USRC Tigers, the champion club. 14-7 is the score. That conversion successful. Josh Hurstich absolutely thrilled with that try. He was coached by Rodney Oyalo, the great All Black flanker in his earlier days.
Oh, that's
at the Petone Club, yeah.
Yes.
You played a bit against him?
Love playing against Rodney. Good bloke, really good bloke too.
The thing about Scott Faver, Mark, he played for 4 Super Rugby franchises.
Yes.
He scored a try against the All Blacks at Eden Park. There's not too many players who can say they've done that.
Yeah, more clubs than Tiger Woods, isn't it? Not about that.
What didn't you see it, mate? Chip and chase, went through 5.
Take him back. Missed that,
okay.
missed that. Hey, in a moment, we're going to talk to Kieran Longbottom. How about this for Revolutionary? He's on the bench. He'll be on soon. He's playing the game, and we're getting a chance to have a talk to him. In fact, we might be able to do that right now if the ball goes over. Kieran, come in.
Hey, lads, how you doing?
We're going okay, mate. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. I'm itching to get on, just watching, seeing how the game's going on. That was a bit frustrating down there, but, you know, the boys should be able to turn around.
Well, it's great to see you back. At game 2, you were a star, and we haven't seen you since. A bulging disc injury in your neck, is it okay?
Yeah,
You've certainly worked hard since.
Yeah, well, I've done everything I can to, you know, get it right, and I've come back from a bulging disc in like 3 months, so that's I'm pretty happy with that. It was a bit of a rough time there, but, you know, just keen to get out and see how it goes. And tomorrow might be interesting, but I should be right.
Kieran, Scotty Faver here, mate. How are you?
Hey, bud. How you doing?
Mate, I can see the perspiration coming off your face. You must be nervous, mate.
Well, this is just standard Kieran Longbottom life. Yeah, you know me from back in the day. So, yeah, about 3 shots a day, me. So, yeah.
That's good. We're talking about back in the day, buddy. How's this year really progressed with the group coming in for the first time after everything that's happened? How have you seen it from back in the day to present day now?
I think especially so this year, especially coming back in when I did, and to what it is now, just how tight the group's got. Like we understand the situation, and we just bound up like tighter together than ever. We had a good trip away recently up north, and like we just got tighter since then. The communication amongst the group, you know. Like it's going really well. Like, this week's been an amazing week of training. I'm just looking forward to the next 11 weeks after this one, leading into NRC.
Hey mate, it'd be great to see you back out there any minute. You going to pull us a power try?
I mean, I don't know if my legs will carry me that far, but
well, Chris Heiberg did last week.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah. Well, just throw me the ball 5 metres out, and I should be all right. There we go.
Good on you, mate. We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much. Cheers, guys.
Kieran Longbottom, what a star. Local boy, born in Perth, 32 years of age now. And Gordon, when you were here when he last played in game 2, you thought he was in the Wallabies conversation. Unfortunately, the injury curtailed that.
Well, he was a guy who certainly would come into contention. He scrummaged magnificently in that game. And don't forget, he was one of the premier props in the Aviva Premiership with Saracens and the Sale Sharks up until last year, and he's come back to Perth. Great to see him back here, and if he is in full health, he's the sort of guy who can really go higher.
Live shots from the drone. We've got the down the ground camera here and the drone. We've got the mic out. In fact, let's join in on Graham Cooper right now, or it might be a bit late. They're right in the middle of that picture in the fluorescent yellow, Graham, with some words to both teams. Get on with it. That's what the 1 minute scrums are about.
Yeah, it's magnificent camera angles, and like having a look at that footage from the back is really good from a defensive point of view. And ex-Wallaby coach Scotty Johnson used to love sitting in the stand behind the team, always to have a look at those defensive issues and have a look where the team could attack.
Listen to Ian Pryor there, the effects wicket here, picking up the live mic.
It's a big scrum, a big scrum.
He cools this team. He's such a calming influence on them.
Just saying with Ian Pryor, Mark, he was on the bench behind Will Genia in the 2011 Super Final against the Canterbury Crusaders. And in the Crusaders starting lineup was Owen Franks, Sam Whitelock and Kieran Reid. That's in 2011. Those 3 guys will be the first pick for the All Blacks next week.
Yes.
Incredible.
Outside shoulder.
So Ian Pryor, almost as well travelled as Scott Faver.
Almost.
You haven't commented on Scott's jacket tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, you've given him grief on his jackets, but I think he stepped in for the late Richie Benno.
Well, gee,
with his pastel jackets.
As a fellow doyen of the commentary box like Richie, Gordon Bray, you can say that, but I don't like your taste, your fashion taste, Gordon. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Well, that's better than.
Well, you obviously haven't delved too far into your wardrobe. Looking at yours,
I was told I had to wear the same suit every week, so I have.
Mark, you're really embarrassing Mrs. Favour here. She's the one dressing me. Thank you.
Well, if you hadn't told me that, it's a beautiful jacket that you're wearing. So
see you next week, buddy.
Scotty, back to the game, I think, Gordon.
Yeah, better scrum, and Terry tries to run the ball out. So 14-7 in favour of the Western Force. 2 tries to 1, but that was a very welcome 5-pointer done through the forwards. And there's a good clearing kick from the scrum half. But Lacey gets away. Lacey with a little stutter step, a la David Campese. 10 to go. And now Heiberg again. Lovely offload. Picked up by Ferris. Pryor goes in. The backs are screaming for it out wide. Here we go. Space. Out it goes to McGregor. Ewan! The Kalgoorlie kid gets number 3 for the Western Force.
Wow, I thought Heiberg was going to go in for his another try, but he stopped just short of the line, and the backs did a really good job. Here it is. Here's the action now. Out to Grant, pushing it across to Jack McGregor, Teifu, and in Ewan. I think he dumped into no one, did he? I didn't think anyone was outside him.
He just wanted to make sure everyone got a look at the new haircut he's wearing. I'm not sure where he got that, but it's worked. He's a speed machine tonight. Can score another with great flair, and we saw it there. Have a look at that. Now we'll go back into the Western Force huddle. Ian Pryor, the captain, back in the middle as the conversion comes.
Listen up, listen up. This one thing. When that off the way, take the easy exit out. We've got them out of the pump. We can't be standing up at the back. We got the world. Pressure came off. We keep that fucking pressure.
Again, that's Ian Pryor just standing behind, and Chris Heiberg with plenty to say.
Right shoulder, okay? Run on the side, you've got to work into that right.
Here's Peter Grant now to make it 21-7 inside 35 minutes. Been an exciting start to this game. We didn't expect anything less.
And just shaving the right hand upright. So 3 tries to the Western Force. They've had the diggers and dealers in Kalgoorlie. Play Ewan Bourne in Kalgoorlie.
Thank you.
And the referee just saying, delivering his instructions there to skipper Ian Pryor.
Okay, just be careful back there.
It's a good little.
I get it, but just be careful.
It's a good little series of chat from Heiberg and Cameron Orr. I know Cameron's really excited to be out there, but I think what he's trying to say is keep your discipline. They let him out, the Hong Kong Dragons, with a bit of a piggyback, as we call it. But let's look at this. We've got an opportunity now for Western Force to secure a power try.
So, yeah, they're thinking about it. Tim Sampson, the coach, has said, guys, we've got to look at this power try. The extra 2 points there in the offing. One of the innovations of World Series Rugby, one of many innovations. And there are more to come as well as McGregor goes wide now. And that's Ewan, the try scorer. He attended the Hale School. When he was at school, he found himself receiving goal kicks from Johnny Wilkinson with the England team as a young teenager at the Hale School. He couldn't believe his luck. And Wilkinson put every ball straight onto his chest. There's to Terry.
It's a good kicker.
Oh, mate, there was no better. No one better, was there? And broke Australian hearts in 2003 at the Olympic Stadium. Nice little dart there by Brent Phillips. Halfway line to the right. Taken away by Sawyer. And Phillips goes in. To Terry. Charged down by Grant. Picking up the crumbs there is Axton Burrett. He's been impressive with the ball in hand. A very good ball carrier. There's Dowsing.
Good shoulder from Brad Lacey. Nice to see a winger putting his body on the line.
Hurstitz, the try scorer. So they're getting into the game now, trying to get some rhythm, but Kolomatangi really stopped in his tracks, losing about 7 metres there with that fast-moving defensive line. Back to McGregor. Nice little step. About 8 from the halfway line. So the Western Force really enjoying the occasion. We've got a healthy crowd in here again tonight. The crowds have been fantastic as Marcel Bracchi slices them open. What a ball there to Peter Grant. Goalpost ahead. The family's watching in the stand. And Ian Pryor in his 50th.
What has he got it?
Knock on blue.
Oh, knock on, Ian Pryor.
Yeah, with a knock on, or should we check? Knock on blue. Okay, cool.
So Ian Pryor's 50th was last year. Peter Grant's 50th tonight. A beautiful combination.
And then 50th Marcel Bracchi too.
Yeah.
Bracchi and Stander and Grant there, so close, so quick to think, and there was only one thing that was going to stop Ian Pryor, and that's what did. Now, it's gone up to the TMO just to have a look at that again, but those pictures make it pretty clear, don't they, Scotty?
Yeah, and the referee was spot on, and he caught it straight away. Instead of going upstairs, he scored a knock on.
Terry has pulled off at least 2 try-saving tackles tonight, the number 10, as you mentioned, Mark. Brilliant defender.
Ian Pryor deserved that. He's been up the middle for every break there has been. If you know the inside ball has been available to him, but unfortunately just couldn't finish that off.
Tactically, what do they do from here?
Well, let's go for the power try.
Let's go here.
It's the Hong Kong ball. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, go for the power try.
Get the 9 points.
Yeah. Well, the Force will be trying to push the Tigers off the ball here. They'll go for a big scrum. You see their scrum was just conceding a little. We've only got 60 seconds here.
Sideways. We'll re-scrum.
So this is the last chance to get an outcome in this scrum.
Yeah, with 2 minutes to go, 9-7. You would think that the Hong Kong guys would have a crack at this.
Chris Handy, the great Buddha, who is in commentary for the match against Tonga.
Okay. Have a look at this picture. We can see the players changing their minds here. We are all over it.
So the Terry standing a bit deeper there to get the clearing kick in, hopefully. Scrum holds firm. Pass was thrown backwards. Good work there by Spitz, just short of the 22. So some enterprising play there as Sawyer takes ahead, making good ground. Full marks there to the Hong Kong Dragons to get the ball from that position 5 metres out from their goal line. McGregor, halfway line, good chase. And that was Hickson Smith, Charlie Hickson Smith, coming through to wrap up McGregor. Jeremy Thrush, just short of the halfway line. Entertaining match here in World Series Rugby between the Western Force and the visiting Hong Kong Dragons, an invitation side, almost a barbarian type selection really. A lot of development players, some of their top premiership players, and a lot of professional contracted players as well.
Must be hard to put them all together. There's obviously a program over there in Hong Kong Rugby doing really well in the repechage system for the Rugby World Cup 2019. But just they haven't put it together in that first half yet.
There's Spitz. Covering up well, that little kick ahead there by Bracchi. Ewan's through on the loose ball, picks up the crumbs. He says, I'll have a go here. Needed some support.
Yeah, it's time.
And Finn Field going down on the loose ball.
Kicking in the ruck.
You can't kick the ball in the ruck. Now the ruck is when the ball's on the ground, Mark, and there's a player from either side in contact over the ball. That's a ruck. And someone can't kick it out of there.
Okay, so we're learning as we go, or we know that it's a 12-point lead to the boys in blue. And let's have a look at one of the LB moments of the match from the first half. The LB draft moment made by WA, and it was this one.
And this is the one where Jack McGregor almost got held up, but it was a really good try. Forwards led the way up the middle, and then here he was, pops up, and a bit of work to do with Mitch Andrews underneath him, but great try by the debutant, Jack McGregor.
And there's Andrew Forrest out on the field at the halfway stage. Andrew Deegan, another of those players to play in that Wallaby trial match. He's missing with injury on this occasion, running some water, as you can see. Now, we are going inside the rooms. We're not going to the break. This is roaming Barrow. We're going inside the Western Force rooms live at halftime. Adrian.
Yep, inside the Western Force rooms here as the boys come in to have a break, get a bit of water. We have the forwards generally over there and the backs here, and Brad Lacey's joined us from the backs. Still puffing, mate. You almost got through there, the boys. They almost scored. These guys are putting up a bit of a defence, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. They're a very well-structured team. They're very good at defence. They tack low and they're over the ball. They hunt and get that ball, so we've got to be sharper on our clean-outs. They're turning a lot of ball over there. And just back-to-back penalties. We're giving away too many.
Yeah, there's a bit of blood there too, a bit of claret. Is that yours or somebody else?
I don't know. I'm not too sure what's going on out there. It's pretty fast. I'm blowing at the moment, but yeah, it's pretty physical out there.
Now, locally, you play for West Scarborough. Can you give us the old bull signal? How do you give the boars? Show us.
All the tucks.
He loves the tuss up. When he scores, look out for that. Thank you, mate. Enjoy the second half. Yeah. We're going to try to find Peter Grant now as well. Here we go. Here's Pete here. We're heading over here. Sorry, boys. Pete, can we just interrupt, mate? Sorry about this. I feel bad there. You're probably talking about tactics or something. Mate, almost scored there. Just the posts were looming, just couldn't get there.
Found myself in so much space, I didn't know what to do, so I tried to turn on the gas, but I just didn't have enough, eh?
In the old days when you're playing for the Springboks, you would have got there for sure.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, definitely.
and then Ian Pry goes into the post. Didn't you tell him you have to go around the post?
Oh, shame, well, you got sandwiched there, man, and he only had the post to go with, so, yeah, man, I was just unfortunate, hey?
The Dragons in the Dragons' lair, they're doing all right, aren't they?
Yeah, doing nicely, man. I'd say when they get the ball, they're really good with ball in hand. They've been patient, and they're pretty clinical.
Mate, it's great to be speaking in the change rooms to an ex-Springbok. Really good, mate. You're one of the greats. And, enjoy the second half, yeah. Alrighty, there we go. This is the change room of the Western Force, and we'll just let him. I better be quiet, actually. Okay, I'm ducking out. All right, boys, we're going out. See you later.
I think we forgot to tell Barrett it's actually half-time, not the end of the game. How light was that? That was brilliant. Roving Barrett. I don't know whether we'll do it again. I hope we do. We'll see more of this, that's for sure, in the second half. 3 tries to 1 in the first half, and it's the Western Force leading at half-time, 19 points to 7.
She's puffing like nothing else, and you're not even puffing. Did you do any work out there? Yeah, look at her. No, I didn't actually see you run at all. It was all her work. Well done, Sarah. Congratulations. You are the winner, ladies and gentlemen. Ernest Green and Sons.
Look at that power couple locking.
It's 10 for you too, Rebecca Biber, as we see the kick coming from Tony. No, cash kick time to fail. Well, it was a pretty good kick, just didn't make the distance from the 22. And Rebecca Biber, who is watching on Facebook, bad luck, Beck. You missed out, as did Tony, but only just. Wow, nearly 20 grand gone again. Money's just about flying out of this house. That was going to make it for a long, long time. Great to have the interaction from the fans, from the stands, and those that are watching at home, and things like that are wonderful.
Oh, the Sea of Blue, we're willing that on. Another cash kick going over, that would have been great.
Now, we've asked for people to send in their messages and maybe have questions. Here's one. This is from Instagram. Hey, Gordon, have you read my new book yet? Any chance you could give it a plug to your amazing worldwide audience? Who is Greg Growden? He wrote it.
Greg Growden is a legendary rugby writer, and it's a very special moment because 100 years ago, almost to the day, 2 Wallabies who played in the first winning side in New Zealand against the All Blacks in 1913 were killed on the Western Front. 100 years ago to the day. They figure in Greg Growden. It's an inspirational, emotional publication.
Wow.
60,000 young Australians were lost in the First World War. It's just incredible. A lot of rugby players amongst them.
Well, a great story and great work from Greg to plug his own book using social media on World Series Rugby. That is just brilliant. Here's one from Facebook from Reese. I'm not normally a fan of rugby union. It's better than league. Agree, Reese. But love what you are doing with WSR. Can you keep the ball in play even more, Scotty?
Well, you can. Look, WSR has increased the amount of ball in play by an extra 2 minutes, which is great. And that is contributed from the scrums. And we saw it tonight. We're calling penalties on scrums over that minute. But, you know, little things that we talked about, like injuries. Maybe rolling subs for injuries might help and get the game in play a bit more. So the innovation is there for the World Series of Rugby.
Well, we're working hard on it, World Series Rugby 2019, no doubt about that. Now, as we go to the break, this is the Chungwa Dancers, the local Hong Kong community, putting on some wonderful entertainment pre-match. Just sit back and enjoy this as we prepare for the second half, remembering that there's nothing in this. It's just 12 points the margin, the Western Force leading Hong Kong.
In that area of the field, and we'll get points. All right, it's not a good stat. All right, everyone take ownership of that this next 45 minutes. All right, and you'll blow the game out. If we don't, it's going to be a shit fight. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Enough talking, let's go. All right, and you'll blow the game out. If we don't, it's going to be a shit fight. This next 45 minutes. Take ownership of that this next 45 minutes. All right, and you'll blow the game out. If we don't.
World Series Rugby Game 6. It's the Western Force and the Hong Kong Dragons. 3 tries to 1, the Force with a 19-7 margin at half-time. Well, we were lighthearted inside the rooms earlier on with Roaming Barra. Not so much once the coach, Tim Sampson, got a hold of the boys, and we'll get a listen to how he's attempted to motivate these guys in the second half. That's not the scoreboard, Scotty Faber, that he wanted to see at this stage.
No, not at all. I think with the Western Force coming out with this kickoff, I think his message would be to the boys, let's consolidate our position, but let's start working to fight to really blow these guys off the park. And the way they do that is really hitting up the middle and then unleashing their backs.
Handling error there from Jack McGregor, his first mistake in the game. And taken full advantage there by the Hong Kong Dragons. So 18 of this match squad for the Dragons are qualified for the Rugby World Cup repechage in France against Germany, Canada, and either Kenya or Namibia in November. So there's a lot of incentive for these players to force their way into the World Cup squad.
Force using the 45-second rule there on the lineouts. If the opposition team's not ready, you don't have to wait. You can just go, and that's what Tessman did there, and maybe it'll work.
Advantage knocked on by blue 13.
Knock on by Marcel Bracchi, so referee playing advantage here for the Dragons. And here's the live wire scrum half Phillips. As we mentioned, his twin brother Ewan and the whole family are watching on Twitter in North Wales, streaming the match live. It's revolutionary World Series Rugby and very much a global concept now.
It's truly the international game, isn't it, Gordon? Love it. Being able to be answering questions from people in their lounge rooms, watching the game on Twitter. It's a great experience.
Like that, 4 seconds, mass times acceleration. Love it.
Phillips clears nicely to Terry.
I think the mass favours the Hong Kong Dragons, though.
And not small. Oh,
well, not a good ball there for
and I think that's
Dragons. They've coughed it up.
Craig Hammond would have gone to the sheds for the Hong Kong Dragons as well and sort of asked more from their players. I think they had an opportunity with that 9-point try, the power try, and I just don't think their forwards worked hard enough to put themselves in a great position. So there's no doubt he'll be asking more from his players from a physicality point of view.
In fact, we might be able to hear from Tim Sampson, who mentioned his thoughts at half-time. We'll be able to hear from Tim, I think right now.
This next 45 minutes, right? And you'll blow the game out. If we don't, it's going to be a shit fight. Here we go.
Now that is making it very, very clear.
It's plain English.
Yep.
You know, the onus is on the Force, and they didn't start as well as they wanted to by spilling that high ball.
Now back live, injury concern, but looks to be okay there. Mitch Andrews gets up, a big body to get up, that's for sure.
Yeah, back on Tim. I think the Samoan game showed that.
There's AFL connections out here. Nat Fyfe, former Brownlow medalist, Fremantle captain, enjoying the hospitality. I reckon he might be. I'd be taking a punt here in Andrew Forrest suite. He is Western Australian sporting royalty. Nick Nat from the West Coast Eagles loves World Series Rugby, and great to see Nat there too.
Well, Tau Kolomatangi has left the field, the loose head prop, the man known as the tow truck. And we have a replacement on Ben Higgins, who spilt that first touch of the ball, so he'll be annoyed about that. Fed in now by Ian Pryor, the classy skipper for the Western Force. Peter Grant standing 10 metres away. Rodney Iona's on the ball here. Marcel Bracchi to McGregor. 10 from halfway. 3 tries to the Force, 2 to McGregor, 1 to Ewan. And some offside play there by the Dragons, and there's a big hit coming in.
They're under pressure, and we can see it.
Good ball, Highburn.
Now Marcel Bracchi, lovely ball back inside.
There he is again. Just no support.
Very well caught there by Brad Lacey, who seemed to hurt himself as he went to ground there. But as Chris Handy called him, Lazarus, he'll bounce back quickly.
Have a look at this one. Have a look at this on the Lima scale. What do you reckon?
I like the offload more than the hit.
Yeah,
6.5.
6.5. Yeah, it was up there. Same with you, Gordon. I was concentrating on the prop. Nice little offload, but yeah, the
Look for the Lima scar. It's got to
Look at the
becoming
Lima
part of the vernacular. And we're still calibrating the machine. Sometimes it can be a little bit out, but I think 6.5 wasn't bad. There's Leon Power sporting the mustache.
He looks very 70s, doesn't he?
He does.
2 Western Australian women have been added to the national referees panel, Mark, Tyler Miller and Maddie Putz. So they'll be refereeing in the International 7 circuit. That's a great boost for Western Australian rugby. So it's the Hong Kong Dragons trailing by 19 points to 7. 3 tries to 1. And there's an isolated player. Great work.
It's Tyler.
And there is Tyler. Congratulations to Tyler and also Maddie Putz, now on the national refereeing panel. They'll be travelling the world.
Brilliant. Tyler's been at it for a long time, and again, like Graham Cooper, a local product and the real genuine article.
Once again, it's WA rugby community that's coming to the fore, and they're increasing participation in the game, and a lot of the opportunities are coming from people in the West.
And not to mention August 10 next year, Mark.
Oh yes, there's a little thing called the Bledisloe Cup that's arriving in WA at Optus Stadium. Was involved in the launch of that a couple of weeks ago to a great fanfare. We'll talk more about that in a second, actually, Gordon. Won't the fans come out to this? We've had 75,000 fans to the 6 games of World Series Rugby, plus what's here tonight, and they're loving it, but won't they come out for that one?
There's a brilliant scrum from the Western Force. Well, they'll enjoy that one.
Look at them all patting each other on the back. That's great confidence.
Hey, we talked about Nat Fyfe a moment ago. You asked for it, you get it. Adrian Burridge, you're with the star himself.
I am, yes. The Dockers captain is here, and AFL superstar Nat Fyfe. Nice to have you here at World Series Rugby. Enjoying it? I saw you having a bit of a chat to Andrew Forrest, and you brought a few of the boys with you.
I did. Twiggy invited a couple of us along tonight to have a look, and first time I've seen the Western Force in this new series. It's pretty impressive.
And I believe you've been to Twickenham to watch the rugby, so it's not like this is your first rodeo.
Yeah, I spent a bit of time in London at the last World Cup. Sat a few rows back and just watched these athletes at full flight. It's pretty impressive. We think we're tough, but this is a whole nother level.
You'll have to come down to the sideline and just have a listen to the impact. Now, I reckon you and Twiggy would go well, mate, because you're an entrepreneurial sort of fella, and you also have got lots of ideas. You're starting to chat a bit of business. What do you reckon?
Oh, potentially maybe something in the pipeline, but what he's done for the sport here, I think is really impressive. To keep the Western Force alive until the next thing comes there's a real pat on the back for a bloke like that to do that.
You love the ocean too. I saw you kite surfing from Rottnest to Fremantle. He loves the ocean. Another similarity?
We have a lot in common, actually. We're involved in a few different associations together, so just proud of West Australian people.
Good on you, Fyfey. Thanks for joining us, mate. Thanks for being here at World Series Rugby. It's great to have you. Good on you, buddy.
That's brilliant, Nat Fyfe there. He does love the ocean, and Andrew Forrest donating $100 million to improve our oceans again a couple of weeks ago. He could be recruited. You never know, Nat Fyfe. He could be part of World Series Rugby one day, good. If it happens, you heard it here first.
Well, Usain Bolt's playing football for the Central Coast in the National League, so anything's possible.
Not if the Noahs don't get him with that kite surfing from Rotto to the coast. Mate, that's insane.
So the Hong Kong Dragons then under a bit of pressure here. That's Ben Higgins. His head swathed in bandage. And they're deep inside their quarter at the moment. It's Big Lodge. Strong tackle by Clay Ewan. Phillips saying they need to release it, sir. Finn Field comes in with the red headgear. It looks as though Lodge getting up very slowly. Here's Ewan. He did well to step out of that tackle. He's a real speedster, this guy. Oh, he beat 3. And cleverly laid the ball back. Heiberg again, the man who stalks, the big prop who stalks for those potential 5-pointers. Grant. Out wide now to McGregor. Here's Lacey. Lacey blockbusting. 5 to go. Quick hand from Grant to McGregor, who's looking for a hat-trick. Clay Ewan calling for the ball out on the right-hand side.
He's got to be patient here now.
So close.
Stand up.
Here's big Leon Power. No, it's Thrush.
Jeremy Thrush. 5 metres to go. Grant again, lovely ball inside. It's a try.
Harrison Orr. Great try.
Harrison Orr, brilliant work.
Must be very encouraging for the coaches. Ewan making a great break up the middle and setting up this try, and then you're finished off by the debutant himself, Harrison Orr, on the inside. These guys are really working well, taking their opportunities.
Well, he said he's had his work cut out with his brother Cameron looking after Andrew Deegan. They all share a house together.
Yeah, he's a beauty. He becomes the 15th try scorer. Let's get out there with Adrian Barrett and Harry.
Size of this fella, no wonder he scored there. How was it, buddy? Fantastic.
Yeah, awesome feeling, mate. Just got to keep going, put the pressure on. We're down end of the field.
Your brother in there, first one to celebrate with you?
Yeah, he was, mate. Listen on my ear, good job.
Good on you, buddy. He's got to go.
He's just come back from 3 years with the Newcastle Falcons in the Aviva Premiership.
Here's Ian Pryor, the captain.
Over that ball, shift that ball, okay? Yeah. We're parking up, we're letting them counter-ruck, and they're getting underneath us. That's not acceptable, right? Make sure we get over. Next person we shift, okay?
Keep it up, lads.
And there's the conversion, and the Western Force really starting to put the hammer down now. So 26-7 with the conversion from Peter Grant. It was a quality try. They just keep coming up with options, the Force, don't they, Scotty?
Yeah, very much so. And they're working on a really tight Hong Kong Dragons defence. And you can see there's a lot of holes now, particularly the inside ball is working. So if they concentrate on that, look for those inside lazy players, they'll get it.
So the ball now in Hong Kong hands, and they do need to score. Almost 15 minutes into this one, 7:26 they trail.
This is Tyler Spitz. That's a famous sporting name, isn't it? Mark Spitz. 7 gold medals, 7 world records at the Munich Olympics in 1972. Kick ahead here by Rob Keith. And they managed to regain the ball. Keith goes down on the loose ball, knock on by the Western Force. But Tim Sampson asked for a big 45 minutes, first points after the break, and they've done that. The Force getting their 4th try and now leading by 26-7. Heath Tessman, he has just been an all-action man leading from the front. One of the great team leaders in the Western Force.
And now they're getting some enthusiasm. Oh, look at that.
Chock favour. That you are posting Instagram pictures of yourself. Is that right? Fair
No. Someone took that.
Oh, someone else took that. I thought it was you for a moment. I thought Chock favour your Instagram.
It is, mate. It is.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, follow me. There you go.
You're going to blame your wife for that too? Oh. No, I didn't think so. Remember, you can get great pictures. Look at that. Wonderful pictures. So many things we do here that you don't see every day in other sports, including that interaction with the fans. Please get involved. Use the hashtag WSR and our handle at WSR on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter.
To Terry now away to Stone. Casey Stone. That's a late tackle on him.
Late tackle.
That should be a penalty. Here's Lacey. A very late tackle on Casey Stone as he followed.
It's a very good play from Hicks and Smith up the middle. And then some good passing here. Put him away. Great little break. But yeah, late tackle, the ball coming across. Oh, just clipped him. Yeah, that's cheeky. Deserves a penalty.
Yeah, you're running the risk of a yellow card with that sort of foul. But good to see Casey Stone get some opportunity. He's had very little so far from fullback, but we know he is an outstanding player. Played 29 times for Manawatu in New Zealand, home of the famous Manawatu meat worker, Mark Cowboy Shaw, famous All Black. So the Dragons needing to hit back with a 5-pointer here to get themselves back in contact on the scoreboard.
This is the opportunity they want. Get into these big forwards, have a real crack at this rolling ball, see what they can do. Earlier in the first half, they showed some real promise up the middle, so hopefully they go to that and put some real pressure on the Western Force here.
Rob Keith has gone into first receiver. And Terry, who has been the number 10, is playing it outside centre. It's a promising driving ball. This is going to be very close for the Dragons. I think they're there. Driven over by the big number 5.
And it's Mitch Andrews, the hooker. There he is, at the back, controlling that ball, and he wasn't going to let go of the ball.
Yeah, he's been part of the Melbourne Rebel squad. so many hookers down there, he just couldn't get the opportunity. But using all of his bulk and power there, Mitch Andrews, the carpenter from Wellington in New Zealand.
Yeah, he's moved around a little bit, hasn't he? From Wellington, found his way in the Rising program, now to Hong Kong. This is a well-executed try from the Hong Kong Dragons.
JT and Bash onto the short one for the space.
Involved in that. He's been prior with his team.
There's a lot of space at 2 there, so ask him quick.
Who's looking at space at 2?
Yes, when the replacements come.
Do you want me on the tram tracks there or on the inside Bash? Tram tracks, yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Message coming through from Tim Sampson.
1? Okay. He wants a 1.
To Van Humphries.
That's great, isn't it? That is great. I hope we're not giving too many tactics away. Tim will have to change his calls if we are, but that's great to be able to be that close. Here's the conversion.
That's a real balance, isn't it, Mark, between live TV and having the players mic'd up. And,
JT, that's come from Sambo.
They're very precious about their plays and then their calls and whatever else. But, you know, this is World Series rugby. This is what we're leading these guys to, a difference to what they're used to. So, you know, I like it. I think it's really great to hear these guys in action and give the viewer a real perspective of what's happening on the ground.
Great. If Tim's upset, Scotty, he can talk to you.
Yeah.
So back with Peter Grant, 26 plays 12, 2 converted tries the difference.
I'll tell you who will be upset, the Van Humphries after that.
Gordon's got some fans. They're never far away, are they? The golden Texans.
There's Hickson Smith, Charlie Hickson Smith taking it over the 22. I'm sure we've got a few more nuggets stashed away with Scotty.
Speaking of hair.
Taking the 9.
We won't dig that one out.
We'll just get onto Gordon's Twitter account, won't we? You pulled that one through, didn't you?
So here's Rob Keith looking for touch. And Heath Tessman looking a bit battered and bruised.
He is, isn't he?
He always does.
Yeah.
Look at that ear too. I love it. It's chunky. That's a real hooker's ear.
He loves it at the bottom of the pack, doesn't he? There we are.
Sawyer,
Ray, that's where you send them to, at WSR, #WSR.
And there's a good drive in behind. The referee said, yeah, that's fine. There was no maul there. The ball came back. And the replacement scrum half, Ruin Deploy, South African born, is on the field. Scrappy work out wide there by the Dragons. So we've got a lot of replacements out there coming off the benches now.
Yeah, there's great vision of Grant Kemp lying down with a towel around him. Looked like he was going to go to sleep. He had enough. He's done.
Is he being beaten up or is he resting?
I think beaten up. I think they've worked hard. And we talked about ball in play, and the ball in play has been a fair amount. So these guys will be tired out there.
Maintain that space for me, please. Thank you.
And look at that, the numbers in, 10,863. Another attendance over 10K. That makes it just short of a combined 87,000 fans have been to World Series Rugby this year. So an average of probably about 14,000 now with that figure. Just brilliant. The numbers just keep rolling up. And why wouldn't you?
Yes, well, it's very much about fan engagement, which we had before the game. And there's a big scrum from the Dragons. Ian Pryor put under pressure. Lacey gets through the first tackle, showing plenty of vigour as he goes to the halfway line. So the fans are involved. It's another special experience for television viewers now, with the quickening of the game, keeping the ball in play as McGregor's out wide. Love this guy. And here's Ewan. Oh, gets through a couple of big tackles. Clay Ewan, a very exciting player, just needs the opportunities as Peter Grant. Oh, wow. He's hammered there.
Kulamatangi's just whack bash. There he goes.
McGregor
the sensei.
He's up to Lacey. Lacey probes. There's some big hits coming in now from the Dragons, no doubt about that.
They're playing on. This is great.
They're really having a crack here.
It's on off. It's off red, gents.
And, well, they're not all getting up as fast as they went down. Some big lemur action there as the hits came fast and furious. Here's Peter Grant being taken, and legally,
Yes.
well, to get 7.5.
that's decent. I would have given that 7.5, 8. Nice work from the big fella. Call him a tonguey.
The tow truck has struck.
They're going down everywhere at the moment, or at least the substitutions are. The Force taking this opportunity to move some numbers on and off, including Ian Pryor,
Cameron Orr,
Chris Heiberg, both Orr brothers are off now. So in a matter of seconds, Gordon, it's a new look.
Yeah,
Western Force.
Well, some exciting players out there now. Really looking forward to seeing Isaac Fines again. The young boy from Queensland, he was the top player in the Queensland Premiership.
And Tyler Spitz doesn't look any good as well, so I think he's been replaced in the Hong Kong Dragons lineup.
Yeah, there's a hammy there, that's for sure. He's struggling to get to the bench. They late to get on. Ben Willis just joining the fray in 21. He's heading straight over to be part of this line-out. Heath Tessman there, we're up close and personal with him. And the crowd really getting involved too. I think they're sensing, Gordon, that they wouldn't want to let the opposition get a score here. This game is very much alive.
Well, this is a big line-out for the Force. They've got to make sure of it. There's a little knock on, but it wasn't in straight, so a chance for the Dragons to clear their territory here. And they're very much in this game. They're trailing by 2 converted tries, but a lot of subs coming in off the bench for the Western Force. So you'd imagine they'll just take a little while to get their rhythm, Scotty. So there's a little bit of an opportunity here for the men in red.
Yeah, it's always the way, as a reserve, as you come on the field, you want to lift the game, lift the enthusiasm, but sometimes a little bit of that knowledge could be left. And that's a hard thing. You don't want that left out on the field. You want to concentrate on what needs to be done in that period of time.
Deploy then from Pretoria. Taken ahead there by, I think it was Lewis Warner. Strong support here from Ben Higgins, but they really need to get the ball out of here. And it's going to come now from Pete. He's well held though. Heath Tessman, he's the man who did the damage. He was up like lightning. And they're still pinned inside. The Force looking for a turnover here. That'd be a disaster for the Dragons. Back now with Ruin deploying. And that's a clever kick.
Okay, you mentioned the Bledisloe Cup a moment ago. Well, Kevin Mialamu was here for the launch of that. The
Mialamu.
Let's have a listen to him.
It's always tough. It's always tight test matches for us. But I always like to make sure, it's always great for us to be able to, over the last couple of years, put that back, put the silverware back in the cabinet.
Two-time World Cup winner, 2011, 2015, and he can't wait, he says, to get back August 10, it is, Saturday, August 10 of 2019. The Bledisloe Cup, the All Blacks and the Wallabies here in Perth at Optus Stadium. And I know you'll be there, Gordon, calling that one on free-to-air television. Just cannot wait for it. Tickets not available quite yet, but for Western Force members, you will get first crack at it. So perhaps, Gordon and Scotty, if you're not a Western Force member already, you should become one. And then you would ensure you would be able to be part of a 60,000 full stadium will be at Optus Stadium for that, Gordon. And if, of course, if you can't be there, you can hear you.
Well, yes, Network 10 will be covering the game on free-to-air television next year from Optus Stadium, a historic occasion here in Perth for the Bledisloe Cup. And of course, we're in action next week at ANZ Stadium for the first Bledisloe Cup game. And Australian Rugby has invited all of the drought-stricken farmers. They're handing them free tickets to come to the game just to give them some relief for this Bledisloe Cup fixture, which is a great gesture by Australian Rugby.
Brilliant. Can't wait for that. You've got Friday night, of course, the Force against the Panasonic Wild Knights, and then Saturday night, the Bledisloe Cup, the Wallabies and the All Blacks. A feast.
Well, you've got Berwick Barnes, I believe, is playing for the Panasonic Wild Knights. There are about 13 internationals. I think you might get a sellout here at NIB Stadium next week, the final match in World Series Rugby. I think there's 9 or 10 Japanese internationals. Berwick Barnes, Sam Wykes, Digby Ioane, the former Wallaby, playing as well. So it'll be a great night. Here's Jack McGregor. But there's a lot of vigour coming in, Scott Favour, from these Dragons at the moment in their defensive hits.
Yeah, we had the tweet about the Lima scale, and I think Hong Kong Dragons are really going to up the ante in that area. I think they know about it now. They're going to put some really hits into these Western Force players. See the fire.
Their stand-up. What an awesome player Brainard Stander is. Born in Durban, came through with the Sharks, and now very much a Perth boy. Taking ahead there is Stowers, Henry Stowers, the man from Wellington, Samoan under-20 international, as Brad Lacey.
Hasn't he had a good game? Brad Lacey has had a really good game. I think he's worked hard off his wing, and he's made the real good opportunities, some half breaks. I think he will like to get over that white line, though.
Yeah, look, he's a class player. He's got the pedigree, former Australian schoolboy, as Grant goes wide now to Iona. And they're over the halfway line. But the defence is holding up well at the moment. Fines look for...
The big Swede.
Yeah.
Marcus Vincenti.
Product of Toowoomba Grammar in the Darling Downs in Queensland.
There looks so much space when we look at it at times on the down-to-ground camera. Not so much, but there looks to be some space, but very rarely is there.
Here's Clay Ewan, what a step, and he's going to go all the way. Double. Clay Ewan has done it again.
What an excellent try.
A double for the Kalgoorlie Kens. He was heading over to play in Sydney, but Matt Hodgson gave him a ring and said, come back. We've got a revolution starting in Perth, World Series Rugby. And he'll be delighted he did.
And Barra's out there with the main man, I think. Have you got Clay? Barra, over to you.
Ready to go.
He's taken off, he's beaten Adrian, he's beaten everyone. I thought he was, just as we were saying how space doesn't easily develop, they created this.
Yeah, Jack McGregor, great work. Drew in 2 guys, and Clay had to do the rest.
Barra, over you go, Barra.
Kalgoorlie kid, future Force player. How good? That's 2 tries.
Yeah, mate, pretty happy with that. Well, the legs are felt pretty bloody heavy on that one.
Coming back pretty slowly there. You're puffing a bit. Been a big game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to finish well. We're trying to get some good momentum going into next week.
What does it mean to play for the Force for you, buddy?
Oh, mate, it's huge. I wanted to do this since I was a little fella, so yeah, pretty good experience.
I remember you at Hale. Well done, buddy. All the best. The Kalgoorlie kid.
I'm not sure who's having more fun. The conversion here from Peter Grant. What a great angle. If he gets this, it's a 21-point margin. And Hong Kong will start to find it hard. Does not, but still that lead is large. So 31-12, Grant misses. They compose themselves, and remember, Gordon, it's a fresher Force that are out there. Although, having said that, Jack and Clay have been working together like this throughout.
Yeah, well, there's been some famous people from Kalgoorlie, I've got to tell you. Terry Walsh, the great Kookaburra striker, who you would have interviewed on many occasions, Mark Doran.
And we're back 31-12, a 19-point margin. Western Force in front. We're heading towards the closing stages of this game, but you get the feeling, Gordon Bray, Scotty Favour, that anything could still happen.
Oh, most definitely. That pass behind Jack McGregor. Clay Ewan there, the double try scorer, but you don't write off this Hong Kong team. These players have a lot of incentive, Scott.
Oh, very much so. There's a World Cup repechage happening in November, and it's a great opportunity for the coach, Craig Hammond, just to see how these guys react in these end of the game moments. And if they can claw something back here, he'll be very excited about what these boys can do.
Just in the background there at fullback, Jack McGregor, his former strength and conditioning coach at Riverview College, Jack O'Connor, and also Ben Lenihan are playing in the Southern New South Wales Grand Final for the Hardened Red Devils against the Temora Tuskers tomorrow at Roberts Park. They looked after him at Riverview College.
Some good boys there, particularly the Lenahans out at Harden.
Yeah, well,
good day to them.
Well, the great Jim Lenihan was a legendary Australian fullback who'd be watching our coverage tonight. So a very famous name in Australian rugby, the Lenahans.
It is.
But good luck to the Hardened Red Devils and the Temora Tuskers in drought country down there.
We mentioned Andrew Deegan a little while ago as well, Gordon. I know you were there watching that game, the pre-Bledisloe Cup trial game against the Wallabies. We heard from Tevin Ferris, so we've now got Andrew Deegan mic'd up on the sideline. Deegs was a part of that game and has brought away a little injury. That means he's not out there now. How you going, Andrew?
Yeah, well, mate. Really excited to see footy from a different aspect here, running water and listening to the coaches.
What do you think?
Mate, it's a tough game being a coach, I think. There's a few, tonight there's a few curse words going across the speakers, but nothing too bad.
Well, keep your eye on the play because we might get you to do some commentary, Andrew, but show us your arm, that right arm.
Mate, it's all strapped up at the moment.
Okay. It's still blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite black. It's just a cork bicep that turned a bit sour.
What happened? You were trying to tackle one of the bigger Wallabies.
Yeah,
who was it?
One of the Sixers, Caleb Timu.
Oh, he's a big unit, Scotty.
He's a massive unit. Went in for a couple of tries too, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think he got the double in the end. He definitely found me a few times.
How was it? But playing at that level, you look very comfortable. You set up a lovely try. You certainly didn't shirk it at all. What was it like for you?
Nah, great experience. I loved every minute of it. And I guess to test yourself at that level, it's a bit of a reward and a test of my skills. And I think that hopefully some more endeavours to come, but we'll have to wait and see how we finish up here in World Series Rugby.
And Andrew, it was a great crowd out there. It was a good initiative from Checker and Rugby Australia just to make it a free event. I was out there with my boy. He was running around on the hill. Could you hear the crowd? Did you expect it to be a spectacle as it was?
Yeah, I really had no idea how big the crowd was going to be. It was great to see about, I think, 10,000 in the end there. For the future, I think it's a really good, exciting aspect. A bit of like a playoff amongst the top maybe 30-odd around the country. It's a good way to pick up a few extras around the spot and also make sure everyone's going all right.
And mate, great opportunity for you, which is awesome. You and Tevin out there, and it was great to see you running around. So well done, mate. And,
cheers.
All the best.
Thank you.
You didn't look too bad in the light blue. I prefer you in the Western Force dark blue, but can't wait to see you in the green and gold of the Wallabies colours. You're not going to be there next week, but how do you think the Wallabies will go against the All Blacks, Andrew?
Man, I think if they stick to their guns and pull off some of the ideas that they're trying to do here, well, we could be away down the sideline here.
Well, keep calling.
Sorry, I was a bit excited there. I think if they get their ideas across the park and everyone's on the same page, they can do really well. Test them.
Okay, and we'll see you back on the park next week for sure.
Yeah, hopefully in the dark blue, running around.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for that.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Andrew Deegan there, the fly half there. Shunned by the Waratahs, took off to Ireland and then back to the Western Force and has really done some wonderful things. And he was right on to this. He knew what was about to happen. Gordon just didn't quite.
Yeah, Rodney Iona and brilliant tackle again by James Sawyer, who's worked very hard, the former Welshman. He's a business development executive with KPMG in Hong Kong. But these Hong Kong boys...
Guys, we're going to have a scrum, red ball.
Yeah, people recognise...
Another Wallaby call for Clay Ewan now.
Well, it's good to see him get the recognition. I thought when he came on, Scott, against the Canterbury Crusaders, he added real impact. Really moved up in defence, got some nice hits in, and added some real spark in attack.
Yeah, definitely so. And it came off the injury of Musi Dangawanga, and then he got his opportunity because he got injured in the warm-up. But yeah, he's done a really good job. He's following the boys around and taking those inside passes, which is really great.
Watching from Hong Kong Football Club, that's great to see, great to hear, and hopefully Hong Kong and surrounds will be a major part of World Series Rugby in one way or the other.
Oh, that's a massive scrum from the Western Force. Yes, Mark, you've got to get yourself to the Hong Kong Sevens. It is the greatest Sevens tournament in the world. It's a bucket list sporting event held at the end of March every year. And there are 6 senior clubs in Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Football Club, the Cricket Club, USRC Tigers, the champions, Valley, Kowloon and Hong Kong Scottish. And it's a fabulous competition, but the Hong Kong Sevens is something everyone should make sure they see in their lifetime, whether you're a rugby fan or not. But the Force are applying the screws here.
I think they really want to drive this ball in after the last try from the Hong Kong Dragons. It was a rolling ball. I think this is the opportunity for the Force to put one away against them.
A nice throw there by Harry Scoble, the former Australian schoolboy, another local product who's come through the Western Australians halfways competition, and Scoble has it here. Watch out for the hooker. Well, there's definitely offside play there from Lodge. He swung round. The referee playing advantage. It could be a penalty try if they don't get it down. It's a penalty try!
Wow.
Great work there by the Western Force.
He was dragging the Hong Kong Dragons player across the line. I think it was Thrush. He knew that guy was offside, and he's just hanging on to him going, yep, this is him.
Talk about the All Blacks, that's why he's here, the former All Black, such a major part of this team, and his experience. He was telling his teammates what to do. He didn't need help though, he was just doing it on his own almost.
Who's Barrett going to pick up here? Mate, this penalty try.
He's just going for a run for the fun of it.
What about Harry?
He might get big Jeremy.
Put Scoble
Jeremy
on.
or Harry Scoble, why not?
Actually, let's go to Barry. He's out there. He's got one of the 50 gamers, I think, Adrian.
I got one of the 50 gamers, all right. The big bull, how good is that? A rolling maul, you're going across. Penalty try, though, but the forward's very good.
Mate, it's all forwards, that one. Big credit to the pack. It's hard work to score a try like that.
I'll better let you go, mate. They're about to kick off. See you, buddy.
Barry's having a ball out there. He forgot the penalty try means there's no need for the conversion.
The great work there by Harry Scoble. He initiated the line-out drive with an excellent throw.
It's a thing of modern-day rugby, isn't it? The hookers sitting at the back of that rolling board, they won't give up the ball. They love it.
It's knock on.
Now, that ball didn't actually go the 10 metres initially, but it was played by the Force, so that meant the ball stayed live in play. There was a knock-on, and the Dragons have it. Well, they're out of sight now, the Force, but the Dragons will still keep coming, and there's Hickson Smith. Again, a player who hasn't had a lot of opportunity. He chased hard on Ewan and tackled him over the line with that second try by Clay Ewan.
He showed some really good strength in the lead up to one of their breaks. It just hasn't had the opportunity to get out wide.
Keith, lovely offload. Strong play here by Ben Willis. Ben Willis, formerly from Eastern Suburbs.
Hits keep coming, don't
in Sydney. Keith again, offloading. With strong defence. Fergus Lee Warner very much in the fray. This is fine.
Here we
the
go.
Scrum half.
Come on, power try time.
He keeps it alive, that's fine.
Oh.
It's general play, so that guy's not offside. Play on. Johnny McCormick Houston, the replacement hooker on for the Hong Kong Dragons.
Setting themselves up here with a nice little play within the forwards. I think if they keep concentration here, patience.
Coming in on the side there. This is Chris Orman. And that's Josh Dowsing, who's a Sir Edmund Hillary Scholarship holder. He's studying science, specialising in environmental science. So he's an outstanding young man from the Chiefs Academy system. But now he's very much a man focused on playing for Hong Kong in the repechage in November in Marseille in France, another hotbed of French rugby.
There's a lot of these players have careers outside of rugby in the Hong Kong system. Ernst & Young, KP&G, they're very, very highly educated individuals, and must be hard to pick a captain out of a lot of them.
Well, they've already got one try from a driving maul. They're looking for another here. Ember Herstick was there, and over we go. It's the hooker, Johnny McCormack Houston. From the Hong Kong Rugby Football Club. He works full-time. He's not a full-time professional, but he just has qualified through residential qualification, so he comes into the play for the Hong Kong effort in November.
And Gordon, that's a great time, I think, to head down to the Hong Kong bench, and Barra's with James Cunningham, not playing in this team. He is the captain of the actual national Hong Kong team, the team that's trying to make it into the World Cup. He would have enjoyed that, Barra.
He would have
James Cunningham.
Yes, he did enjoy that. How good was that, buddy? That was perfect time.
Yeah, perfect time. And lucky we walked down this way. We didn't want to miss that one, so now the boys doing well.
And we just mentioned haven't made the World Cup yet, but the repechage and all that. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we've got exciting times ahead. So we just beat Cook Islands about a month ago. So we're going to the repechage, which at this stage confirmed is Canada and Germany. Looking like probably Kenya as well. So that's our next big challenge coming up in November.
Good on you, mate. All the best. Hope you make the World Cup. Yeah, well done, bro.
And he was poached by Scott Favour from the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles Rugby League.
So there's the conversion, 38-19, Western Force Hong Kong Dragons. Scotty, you were the man. You grabbed him. You took him out of rugby league and turned him into a rugby union star, maybe a World Cup player.
Well, that's right. James was a guy that was in the Sea Eagles system, and he was right on the edge, but wasn't really getting an opportunity. And, you know, with rugby as it is, we had a couple of good conversations, and he's just a great kid, and I knew that he would do really well within our program. And look at him go on, being captain of the Hong Kong Dragons team.
And we pick up play again with just over 6 minutes remaining in this one.
Back it goes now to Hickson Smith.
Oh, good hit by Scoble there.
Great work there by the Western Force hooker, who's come off the bench and been very prominent in his limited playing time. And there's Keith with a searching kick downfield. Taken back there by AJ Alatimu on the field for the Western Force.
Wouldn't he like to get a try, the big bull stand up in his 50th game.
Scoble. Vimes goes in. Here's McGregor again, offloading beautifully. George Peacey on the field. That's Stowers. Good to see Ewan and also McGregor there protecting the ball. Fergus Lee Warner sets it up. Pass a little behind. Alatimo recovers well, offloads to Fines. They didn't put him to ground.
There was some good strength from Fines, but no one's at halfback. Scoble takes it up. Oh,
intercept! Here's a great opportunity.
Clay Ewan's chasing him.
I think this is Lee Warner. He's wearing number 27. We haven't got a 27. It's Lewis Warner, so we got it right. Lee Warner has scored the try with the intercept. And well done, Hong Kong Dragons. They just haven't given up.
Very opportunist try, isn't it? I think that just came from the Force not having the ability to have their halfback in action, and the guys just had to react. No call. Scoble off to Tevin Ferris. He just says, I've got to get rid of it here. And away goes Warner. Good try.
He's an Englishman, Lewis Warner, 27-year-old from Gloucester University, played with Plymouth Albion Rugby Football Club, capped 49 times for them in 3 seasons.
So if this goes through and over, as I'm sure it will, just 12 points the margin. The 9-point power try does give them a chance. You could add a field goal. A lot would have to happen in a short time. Missed the first part. Conversion so important. So 14 points is the margin. Didn't capitalise on that, but they are starting to capitalise on the Western Force errors. They're not major errors, but they've just kept their foot down the whole way, haven't they?
Yeah, there it is. When you look at it, it's just communication. I think there's a lot of new boys in the off the bench, and those reserves need to pick up.
Western Force by 14 points with just a couple of minutes to go now. World Series Rugby, Game 6.
Yeah, just 2 converted tries the difference, so they've come back very well, but you've got to say the Force have turned in another professional display. Just would be annoyed they conceded that late try, but they were going for another one which would put them into the 40s. But certainly a very courageous effort from the Hong Kong Dragons. And a lot of these players pushing their claims for the Rugby World Cup repechages in November.
Can I ask you that, guys? If Hong Kong make it through to the World Cup, you might not know which players, but is it likely that 2 or 3 of these players that we're looking at here will be part of that squad?
Yeah, there's definitely a few of the boys that started part of the squad, and a couple of boys that came on, like Ben Willis. He's been training with that national squad, but a lot of these guys, it really depends on their international status and whether they get residency. And once that comes about, then they're available for Hong Kong.
Well, there's probably about 7 or 8 who will become eligible on the 3-year residency. What's happened since January, it's become 5 years the residency, but these guys will qualify under the 3-year rule. potential. So there's probably 7 or 8 of these guys who could be in that World Cup squad at least.
And because of that, they're playing out every moment here.
Taken up by Warner. Oh, they're looking for another try here.
It's upbeat. They're keeping the ball alive, which is really good to see.
Hickson Smith. There's a big tackle from Fergus Lee Warner. They've kept it alive, but just over the touchline. So time just about up on the clock. The players have enjoyed themselves out there, Mark. Both sides have enjoyed themselves. It's been a spectacle.
Yep.
We've seen some brilliant tries. The youngsters, Jack McGregor, Clay Ewan, have really turned it on tonight, both with doubles. And that man, Jeremy Thrush, has led from the front. He is the glue in the forward pack.
And the crowd has enjoyed it, so have a listen to the chant.
Good clearance there from Ruin Deploy. Intercept now. Ione got it away beautifully to Ferris and Ewan. Now the Dragons holding on desperately.
Can we finish with a try? Come on, Western Force.
Rodney Iona did superbly.
Give the crowd what they want.
The man who was born in Dandenong, Fergus Lee Warner. Jack McGregor. Yeah, they certainly want it. The crowd want it. Stander takes ahead, as he's done all night. Quick hands from Thrush. They're going hard here. Kieran Longbottom did well. Finds Eriko Scoble. 10 metres to go here for the Western Force.
Good turnover from the Dragons.
Well done, Dragons. And it was the captain, Josh Dowsing.
Oh, this is exciting.
They're going to have to crack
They get
down.
across here. This is a power try.
Power tries on here to finish.
Hickson Smith over the 22. They've got 75 metres to go, but don't write them off. What a positive note to end on.
420 offside.
Now they can go on quickly here. Ruin Deploy.
Offside.
The scrum half. He's a tall scrum half, as you can see.
Yeah, 100%.
Power try.
Well, if he kicks this out, it would get the
That'll
power
put it
try.
to an end.
Yes.
But they do get the line-out throw, so the power try is over. But
fair enough, they couldn't win the game, but
thoughts of a try are still there for the Hong Kong Dragons.
So 6 tries to 5. What a brilliant result that would be.
Yeah, well,
for Hong Kong if they can manage this one here. Scored the last 2. Margin was out to 26 not that long ago.
Oh, there he goes. Beautiful. Lima scale. How about it?
Scotty, is that an 8?
Oh, that's 8.5.
8.5
with you.
Breinard Stander has topped the Lima scale here tonight.
That may well be the Albie moment of the match, I reckon.
Was that on Dowsing? He's a bit ginger in the backfield.
He lined up the young gun, and there's Tateri, beautifully wrapped up by Ewan. Now, he did that against the Crusaders, and also supported there by AJ Alatimu. So we're still going on here.
Yeah, that's it, Roddy. I reckon we'll get a try here. Nice.
Jack McGregor says, OK. They want another try.
Give the fans what they want.
Now time for the Dragons, Scotty, to dig deep here. They don't want to concede a 5-pointer.
Be careful this time.
Indeed, but this is an area that the Western Force have been really good at over the World Series Rugby Series, and they're looking forward to driving this through the Hong Kong team. Jeremy Thrush will lead the way, yes, straight to him. And Scoble at the back.
They're getting organised. I think they're going to be hard to hold out here. Be careful. Stowers is there at the back, number 20. Over they go. The referee says yes.
And Harry Scoble.
Harry Scoble. This is your life.
The one he missed out on. The penalty try. Now Barry got someone to go to.
Oh,
Local
great work,
junior.
Harry. Yeah, great work. Again, another that have worked so hard. Barra, you're on the telly. You may as well talk to Harry. Get in there, son.
Harry, Rusty, how are you, mate? How was that?
Good. Tried to get back down here under control.
Game's almost over and you've scored right at the end. This has been a fantastic match, hasn't it?
yeah, definitely the boys have shown good courage to go through the whole match and not let off the whole time, so really proud of their efforts.
You love World Series rugby?
Absolutely, nothing better.
Nothing better. There you go. Well done, brother.
Tremendous stuff, Harry's wrap with that one. He's made every moment count that he's been out there, hasn't he? That was brilliant. And now Jack McGregor to finish. Grant and Pryor both off the field. Did see Jack. Gordon, you were there. We were in this very spot watching Jack and Brad Lacey go for a kill. In fact, is Stanley going to do it?
Oh, no. The ball.
the man. We saw this too now.
Is this for $10,000?
The cash kick. Here it is. Look at it behind him.
What a celebration.
Look at that.
Where was he in the cash for kick when we needed him?
That is brilliant.
But
did you see that? He got Jack McGregor to line it up for him. He goes, no, I just need to kick this.
Well, it's been brilliant to have the Hong Kong Dragons.
Barra's in there again. Let's get to Barra quickly.
Here we go. The bull. Talk us through it, the bull. They nominated you. You nailed it. Tell us about it.
Mate, 2 points in the books. I'm happy with that one. Probably never going to happen again. One time lucky.
Mate, in your 50th game too, you must be absolutely wrapped. You can stick it up the backs now.
Mate, I'll tell you, that was a energy-sapping match. These Hong Kong boys are really fit. Brought it to us for most of the game, as you can see by the score. Appreciate them coming here and giving us high-level footy. Thank you very much for coming, boys.
Bull, you're the best, mate. 50 games, well done, and 2 points. Woo!
Thanks, mate.
It's all about the conversion. 7 tries to 4 in the end, a 21-point win to the Western Force. Hong Kong came home really hard, and then that try at the end just broke that score open a little. Great scenes these, a game played in great spirits.
Look at brilliant scenes, Scotty, and what World Series Rugby has done for Western Australia is showcased some of the talent here. And you look at Jack McGregor, who's been given his opportunity. He struggled to get opportunity in Melbourne, and also Clay Ewan tonight really showed his class, didn't he?
Oh, it's great for a lot of players that are not getting the opportunity they want from Super Rugby, and we are seeing that they are really punching through with this World Series Rugby concept, and they're doing it for each other, and the Western Force are showcasing that through these players.
LB draft moment made by WA, LB draft, and here it is. It's Clay Ewan. He was brilliant, wasn't he, in the second half. He and Jack McGregor worked well. He had to withstand the tackle to get over the line, and he did it.
The 2 players that have scored 2 tries for the Force each scored a brace, and they come together for this Ewan try. And it was a great moment where they needed that opportunity. It was 10 minutes in the second half, and Tim Sampson talked about it. They wanted a real pressure out there, and they put it together.
So there you go, the LB moment, LB draft moment of the match. LB made by WA. The boys in the middle there come together as one and thank the Lord for their opportunities. They thank many for what they do. They'll head over and join the Hong Kong team as well a little bit later on. We've seen this each and every time as well, Gordon. It's just a special moment.
Especially with the Polynesian teams. I mean, the Force have had a Polynesian trifecta, haven't they, with victories over Samoa and also Tonga and Fiji.
Okay, Adrian Barrett, he's very busy. He's still out there. Barrett.
Yeah, man, absolutely loving it. Lewis Warners joins us now. That intercept try, first of all, great man. Talk us through that.
I think the boys did really well. We got organised early, and it was just quite easy to make the read there, and managed to press off the line, and lucky enough it landed in my hands. So yeah,
you enjoyed that World Series Rugby, didn't you?
No, it was great actually. I think it's really exciting what's happening here in Perth, and it's great for us boys to be a part of it, and hopefully there's big things in the future.
And what about big things for you? Hong Kong, the World Cup, could it happen?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think where the boys are now and all the preparation we're putting in has been absolutely brilliant. And I think all these guys here are trying to put their hand up to be in the repechage in November. We'll go from there.
So what about you? Investment banker in your spare time as well, or what?
I used to be in a former life, yeah. I'm now full-time with the ERP set up, and I joined in January, and it's been fantastic, so I'm really enjoying it.
Good on you, mate. Good luck. Hope you make the World Cup. Thanks for joining us in Perth.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant from the Hong Kong Dragons from start to finish. It really was. And that scoreline there, 45-24. The Western Force 7 tries to 4, winning World Series Rugby Game 6 by 21 points. Don't go away. We've got more to come from NIB Stadium here in Perth, WA.
Be your bodyguard, how about that? Come on, Mum.
Boys called it an 8.5 Lima scale. Doesn't matter if we can't, but okay, if we, yep. 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 Sure, we've only got one more LB to do. We've done two, so that's great. If we get one more, we could get James McDonald, the captain, but been an amazing night here at NIB Stadium, and well, they were going to the very, very end. They were up on their feet on the bench, that's for sure, as Harry Scoville put one over the line at the end. 7 tries from the Western Force, 7 tries to 4 and a 21-point margin at the end of the game. They were all celebrating, they were all into it, and some were perhaps a little bit more tired than most. Brian Stander, hey, firstly, congratulations on game number 50. You were your own highlights package, mate.
Mate, it's 50 games, that's a long time coming. Fantastic atmosphere here tonight at NIB Stadium, obviously getting the run out here, where it all started for me at the club. Great atmosphere, great team, great everything.
Great
Brian,
kick.
Have a look at the screen. We're going to have a look at one of your highlights. As I say, you're a highlights package all on your own. The LB draft moment of the night, you had a few of those. LB made by WA. Not sure which one we're showing. Of course, it's this one, mate. The kick.
Oh, mate. I never thought I was going to get that one, to be really honest. Kept my head down, followed through, went straight to the poles.
Did you practice yesterday?
Absolutely not.
And the ball, what about your big hit off the line-out, mate? We had the Lima scale on it. I don't know if they've come on the screen, but, mate, it was sensational.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, there was very little bit left in the tank. Took a lot of energy to read that last play and going for the big kill. But with the stadium and the crowd behind us like tonight, it's very easy to dig deep.
You looked as though you were in a game park in South Africa, the way you hit that guy. But what about the Hong Kong Dragons, the performance by them tonight? They really came at you.
Lads, I've got to be very honest. These guys came out tonight firing. They were really fit. They were really physical. But that's what you can expect from an international side. They're always going to be well prepared and they're always going to be ready to go.
Here it is. I think this is the hit. The Lima scale said, I think 8.5 or something similar.
Mate, I got nothing to say to that.
And that was Josh Dowsing there.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
8.5. You've done it. We've had no bigger than that this year, mate. It's all yours, Bronard.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, guys.
Mate, we'll let you go and enjoy it with your teammates. Wonderful work, you and Marcel in your 50th game.
Thank you very much for having me, boys.
Congratulations, mate.
Thanks.
Great job, great job. He's a beauty. Guys, we've got 30 seconds to wrap it up. We could stay out here all night. It's beautiful.
It's awesome conditions, and the crowd loved it. We've seen a Hong Kong team that been here, developed it with the Sea of Blue. It's an outstanding occasion.
Look, just so much fun, and I'm just thrilled to see some of these young guys getting an opportunity on an international stage. They really showed what they can do tonight.
Okay, well, there's one more game to go. It's the Western Force versus the Panasonic Wild Knights next Friday night, August 17, 6:30 local time here in Perth. You might be watching in all sorts of places right around the world. Whatever the time is, make sure you are back for that. Do not miss it. Scotty and Gordon, great to be part of it. Great to have you here, and great to watch the Western Force 45-24 winning Game 6 of World Series Rugby by 21 points.